Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Amaya, and today I'm going to be reacting to the Smart and Pretty Season 3, Episode 4. So if you haven't watched it yet, there is definitely going to be spoilers, so watch out for that. Before I go on with this video, I want to explain a little bit about how it kind of works, the format of the video, and why you should stick around to watch it. First up, there's a quiz with 10 of my reactions from this episode, and you get to guess what my reaction is for, and you can comment it, and I'll respond to all of my comments, so it's kind of fun. It's like a fun little game. Right after, there's usually an Annoyance compilation, and there kind of is, but this episode, weirdly enough, there's actually a little Guiddy compilation. Weird, I know. And lastly, I just sit down and talk about my opinions on this episode, what I thought about it, what I liked and what I didn't like, and wait for you guys to tell me what you guys thought of it too. So first up, here's the quiz.
Oh, yeah!
Okay, that's a good gift. I'll give him that. Okay, baby. I feel empty inside. God! Ah! Dead. I will cry. I will cry. Don't piss me off. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the quiz. I have so much fun making it. I think it's like so funny, but we can move on. Here is like a little Annoyance compilation, which is basically just me reacting to Jeremiah coming on screen. Ew, wow. Get out of here. And again, surprisingly, I was really giddy while watching this episode, so there's actually like a lot of me laughing and just like smiling and giggling. So here it is. Damn. 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 I like that he took his shoes off. I think most of those clips were probably my reactions to Laurel telling Belly off and to like Conrad coming on stage. I mean, on screen. Theater showing. Theaters in my mind. Anyways, let's take a dive into everything that happened in this episode. Maybe not everything, but most of the stuff that happened in this episode and what I thought of it. In one of the quiz questions, I talk about gifts that were given to Belly. So the first one that I want to talk about is Jeremiah. I believe that, I don't know if all of the gifts that he got her, or like most of them, were revolving around keys. And this time he gave her like a key to the beach house, which was really, really sweet. And I had to give him that. It was a really sweet gift, okay? Like, don't get me wrong. It was really sweet, and I just had to point that out because I might not like him, but it was a good gift. And the whole topic of Jeremiah, let's dive into him at work and that is like. I think it's really interesting to see how everybody at work kind of calls him like a nepo baby, and he is just like, well, no, I'm not. But then he obviously is because he has no sort of qualifications for the job, and it's just there because his dad is the boss. But that being said, also, I think how people have been treating Jeremiah isn't necessarily okay at work. Like, you obviously have to be professional even if you don't like somebody. Although I do agree with Denise that he is an entitled pretty boy. I don't think that the way that she has been treating him is okay. I don't think it's okay to be treating somebody like that. Like, he's still your coworker. You still have to be professional. But also, yeah, he's a bit of an entitled pretty boy. Next, I kind of talked about it last episode, like the relationship that Jeremiah and Adam have in work. How like Jeremiah is kind of just like, well, I'm your son, this is what's happening in my life. And he's like, actually go back to work. I don't care, you're at work, be professional. I guess the whole thing about being professional kind of applies to everyone because Jeremiah has not been very professional either in the time that he's been here. So in this episode, Jeremiah goes to Belly to celebrate her birthday. Also, I want to talk about literally like the first scene where he like is on the phone and he's like singing happy birthday and like not caring. And then somebody gives him a dirty look and he stops and she's like, what? That's it? And he's like, well, I'm actually at work, so don't expect more. Okay. Go to the bathroom if you need and like sing in the bathroom. Like, no, but like I get it. But also like I just thought it was really funny because he like got semi-defensive about it. Like, well, I'm at work, so actually like I can't like really sing, Belly, so I don't know why you'd expect me to like sing the whole song. Like okay. On that whole topic, he ends up going to Belly's house and Laurel is there and he gives Laurel flowers, which is really sweet. He was like, well, like on Belly's birth, you were the one that was doing all the work. And I was like, okay, that's sweet. That's sweet. But that doesn't make up for the fact that you cheated. And you are sucking her into a marriage that she's obviously not ready for, and neither are you. Nor mentally, nor financially ready for it. I'm on Laurel's side. I'm excited to see everything she has to say. Here's the thing, I feel like I see a lot of different angles, because obviously I understand that Laurel is kind of just like fighting for what she thinks is right for them, and she doesn't think that they should be getting married this early on, and I agree with her, but I also don't think that the way that she's treating it is the right way. Because obviously, it's kind of what John said, that just because she's trying to like get them not to get married, that's just going to push them even further to do it anyways. You have to reverse psychology them or something, like go against what they think, like, yes, get married right now. Let's put the wedding like earlier on. Yes, I'm so excited. And then they'll like, they won't want to. Right? That's how it works. Right after Belly and Laurel have like a fight upstairs, and that really reminded me of another fight that they had. I can't quite place it I can't place where exactly it was in like timeline, but I remember they had a fight and Laurel slapped Belly. And it really reminded me of that one scene. And I was just like, oh, she's about to get slapped again. Like, this is not good. But she obviously didn't. It's so obvious that Belly has not matured since then. And I feel like this bite is kind of like one of the big clues to that, because she is still the same and she still fights in the same sort of way and she's not listening either. But at the same time, Laurel isn't necessarily listening either. So does that necessarily make Belly mature? If Laurel isn't listening, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like Belly should be able to listen and process things. And I kind of like say it in clips here and there where I say like that it just feels like Belly doesn't form her own opinions and her own thoughts of things, and she kind of just goes based off what people tell her, and like the people that are currently like at the top and like in her brain that are like the best people, she kind of like believes everything that Jeremiah is telling her, whereas before it was like Conrad and everything that he said she believed. And I'm sure at some point when she was younger, it would have been like Laurel or Susanna and like maybe even like Taylor or Steven, you know, like she kind of changes. And the way that she processes like her own emotions and thoughts are solely based on what other people tell her. And those other people, like the ones that are like most important to her in the current moment, if that makes sense. She's a child. Like, is that reaction not like child? Like, is that not screaming child? I don't know, like bright yellow, like warning. I sounded like a child just then. Oopsies. Apart from Belly and Jeremiah, we see Laurel struggling a lot with the idea of them getting married, obviously. And she kind of opens up to John about it, and she tells him that she isn't going against it because she thinks that their marriage ended up badly, but because she just wishes that she had gone married later on. And they kind of show that John believed this entire time that Laurel just thought that she wasn't happy about having married him and that she thought it was a mistake. She just didn't know herself before she went into marriage and had kids. And obviously this is something that's happening to Belly because she doesn't know who she is or what her opinions are because she completely bases it off of other people. So this moment I thought was really, really sweet, not only because she's obviously opening up to the audience and us and like explaining how her emotions are, but she's also opening up to John, who has kind of been closer to her recently. And it makes me wonder if something is going to happen between them again, if they're going to like somehow find their way back. Because I don't think anything really happened between them except just like kind of getting fed up and like wanting their own space. Like, I don't think like he cheated on her or anything like that. So I wouldn't find it crazy if they did get back together. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's kind of like one of those like little side quest sort of things on the show that I'm really interested in seeing because they're so sweet and they have such a good relationship that I think they're really holding back on because of like their kids and whatever they could think and stuff. But it's like, it's so obvious that they do love each other and they have been loving each other. I think they just needed some extra time apart to be able to grow. Laurel obviously was feeling really lost because she felt like she got married at such a young age and she didn't know who she was, and it was going to like haunt her for the rest of her life if she continued in the relationship. I thought it was just interesting and I'm hoping to see more of it. Before we jump into Conrad, who I want to end this episode on. In this episode, I want to talk about Taylor never accepting any sort of help. Taylor, more like Slayler. Steven finds out that they have a lot of debt for the salon and that they need to pay it, and he offers to pay for half of it, and she's like, no, like, I'm not your charity case, like, I'm not your girlfriend, like, you can like take your money, I don't want it, whatever, like all of that. And I think it's so interesting because throughout the entire show, she's like constantly trying to help Belly, but she's never letting other people help her. And it might come from her family life. Taylor might have felt like she needed to raise herself through that, which is why now she probably doesn't like accepting any sort of help because she grew up doing it all herself and not having somebody that should be there helping you doing that with you, if that makes sense. I mentioned in, I believe it was in my video for the second episode where I talk about Taylor having grown a lot and showing a lot of personal growth. We're obviously seeing she's obviously not perfect, you know, like nobody is. There's still like so much stuff that every single person could work on, like in real life. And I think receiving help is definitely a big one for Taylor because I think she's constantly saying that she's such like an independent woman, which obviously probably also came from her mother, but I think she needs to be able to accept help. I wanted to like mention a bit the wedding dress shopping, but I feel like I just don't have very much to say about it. Like it was very sad that Laurel didn't go, and I think we can tell that it's not her favorite dress. She might be overthinking it now that she has bought it. And with stuff like that, it's always really sad because you also don't want to miss those like big moments in your daughter's life. I don't have much to point out about it though, so I think that's kind of it. Let's talk about Conrad. He's my favorite character. I feel like he's the only sane one in this season. Maybe not. I feel like he's doing quite well this season. I have really high hopes for him. I thought it was really funny that when Jeremiah and Belly got to the beach house, he just kept on trying to avoid them somehow. If you're going surfing, it's not going to take 5 minutes, stupid. Which does show that he needs more work and therapy because that's probably not the right way that you should be handling situations that make you uncomfortable. But it's okay because he's trying his best. Kind of told Jeremiah that they were being ridiculous for trying to get married at this age, and they laughed about it all night long. And poor Conrad was in his room watching this happen and hearing it, and he was looking a little depressed. Also, probably not the right thing to be telling your brother. Like, I'm sorry, no matter how many years, 4 years to be exact, you have spent waiting for Belly and wanting to be with her, probably not great to tell your brother that they're being ridiculous still. But reality check didn't work though because they made fun of him. So now he is lonely in his room, all sad about just being honest. Not that being honest is a bad thing. That sounds like I'm saying it is. When Jeremiah leaves, Conrad is left alone with Belly and he is about to leave and he sees her crying. And he literally, like, you guys, he literally had to support his weight on the door because he, like, couldn't physically handle her pain. Like, how? I will cry. I will cry. And it's like, it's just painful to see him feeling the same amount of pain that she's feeling because she's just crying and he doesn't want to see that. And it's just like, Jeremiah would never. Prove me wrong. And then lastly, he ends up making dirt bombs for Belly. Also, shout out to dirt bombs. I made them in a video. Go check it out. I don't know why I did that. I feel like there's nothing more like this is everything and nothing at the same time. As like a birthday gift, and he tells Jeremiah that he's going to like be at their wedding and be with him and whatever and like support them because he saw Belly being in so much pain and so sad about it. So he does it like to cheer her up, and it's just like so sweet because it obviously brings him pain to do that and to have to like be at the wedding and watch it all happen, but he's going to do it anyways because he loves Belly and he wants to be there for her. Which also, like, he is your brother though. Like, have we forgotten that? You should probably also just meet her because he's your brother. But okay. It was just so sweet, and she got so happy with Dirt Bomb. Like, he's like, happy birthday and stuff, and she's like, you remember? And he goes, of course, I always do. I don't know, I just feel like it made me really happy, and I was just like, oh. I feel like there's a lot coming our way. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and the rest of the videos are probably going to be a little bit more juicier. I feel this season becoming even juicier by the minute. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you come back to watch all of the other reaction videos because I think they're a lot of fun and I love making them. I hope you have a great one. Stay shining. Bye.